If you're an empath and you believe that your sensitivity to feeling the energy so much is your strong superpower, I got news for you. It might actually be the thing that's making you sick. So I've been treating clients with chronic illness, disease, and sensitivity for the last 20 years. And over that time, I myself was labeled a empath and have learned quite a bit about understanding how the felt sense experience of being quote unquote sensitive actually was something that was inhibiting my health, my nervous system from regulating into stress in ways that was depleting my life force. Now, hold on. I'm not saying that being an empath is bad. I'm not saying you shouldn't be feeling so much. But what I'm saying is you might have to recognize and realize that your nervous system, which is really the means at which you perceive reality and all the different ways, how it has over time probably developed what I call a divergent channel. And the divergent channel being something that really comes from my background of Chinese medicine. And what it means is sometimes when our system is overloaded, overwhelmed with too much information, like a trauma experience, what happens is rather than going through the regular pathways of health where your body can process, digest the information through your system, instead what it does is it puts it in this kind of divergent pathway where it's unable to actually fully digest and process just the experience, but also the energy around that experience. And inevitably what ends up happening is it creates this groove in our nervous system, which allows us to not fully process the information and not fully get resolution on. And so what ends up happening is we start developing these sensitivities. And these sensitivities start by little small things, like, oh, his energy is too much. I'm sensitive to that, to as bad as agoraphobic, where you're unable to actually leave your house and you're unable to really live a full life. This was my experience too, as someone that, again, was labeled an empath. It got so bad, guys, with my experience with taking in too much information. My nervous system used to shut down. I'd literally sometimes pass out because it was too much. And on top of that, I also had a history of seizures, which I believe was another way in which my nervous system was trying to respond to inputs into my system that was labeled too much. And so I have a long history of doing that personally, and then also seeing it with clients. And what I found, guys, that's so fascinating, is when we can start changing the inputs into our nervous system, when we can start realizing that, oh, my system has created a divergence to what actually is here. And that divergence, by default, has created a pathology in my system. And so that's why I have autoimmune condition, which is a classic. I treat, thousands of people with autoimmune, and I'll tell you this from my experience, like 90% of them have this scenario where there is some divergence, where something happened in their lives, and instead of it going through the regular pathways of digesting the experience, it went into this divergence. And as a result, the body and its intelligence is always somehow trying to process that information, but because it kind of went in the wrong pathway in the body, it got stuck. And so it's repeatedly trying again and again, but it can't get full resolution. And as a result, it creates digestive sensitivities, dietary sensitivities, environmental sensitivities, and then energetic sensitivities, where you feel so sensitive to someone's touch or someone's voice or some sound or some smell, and so on and so on. Here's the cool news though. Once we identify what those things are in you that have moved into a divergence, we can re-access them and begin the process of learning how to reset and to train new pathways, literally new neural networks that teach you, in truth, it's a grounding experience. It's where that information can process through the totality of your body, through the ground in the base of your body and in your feet, so it can move through the nervous system in the correct way it was meant to. And once we do that, then you are able to actually release some of this information that has been stuck in your system, that's caused all this sickness, that's caused all this sensitivity. Now, in some cases, some people actually get less sensitive, and some of them get mad at me, and they're like, I'm not as sensitive anymore. But the trade-off is they are they are way more able to handle their everyday life. They're more whole in how they show up to their life, rather than a fractured part of themselves that's always trying to mitigate and manage situations. They can just be in their day. And I think that's a good trade-off. And I would do that trade-off every day of the week, because the sensitivity may give you certain, let's say, abilities to perceive, things, but it's actually, if you really are honest with yourself, it's not truly serving you and your system to the fullest, where you can live a life that, again, is whole and peace, and you don't feel like you have to always anticipate the moment before it happens. This is what health looks like, guys. And I know for some of you, this might be like, you might not agree with this, and that's okay. I'm not trying to say this to try to be controversial, but I'm trying to do this to help people, especially people that have lived lives where they have had to live in this kind of fractured state for most of their lives. And really, it's just an augmentation to what life could be. So this is all material we cover in my Be Love Heal group. It is a community that I work specifically one-on-one with you to help you get into some of these places where this divergence has happened, to release some of these sensitivities, to release these anxieties and panic, so you can actually begin the process of feeling whole. And as we enter into that wholeness, then we actually end up healing naturally. The symptoms go away and the pain goes away, and you get better naturally. That's how we do it. You heal you from within. And if you want to know more about this process, check out some of the offerings below. And also, it's always helpful if you subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate that. And give a like. And always drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts about how this lands for you. Have a blessed rest of your day, everyone. See you in the next video.